Hello, from a different location, of course. Today, I want to talk with you about technology, and I've been working in consultancy for more than a decade now, and I've seen over and over and over projects, yeah, in reality failing because the only purpose was to introduce a new solution, a new technology, a new platform, you name it. But at the very beginning, there was a shifting, a misunderstanding of the needs of the reality. So in the end, this technology was just about technology and not about processes, humans, needs, and so on. Three examples. Let's start from the very first one. And they are all about fashion in that case. Tailors. So when you want to have a tailor-made dress, you have, of course, to be measured. So there is a person with a lot of experience taking down all the measures the first time. Then you come back with a first test. They want to dress you with a work in progress and then adjust and so on. And this process might take, I don't know, 2 to 3 on average visits. What was the idea? The idea was that those kind of guys, very wealthy and rich guys, don't want to waste their time. So what about just introducing a way to measure very precisely the body of the customer and then use that to produce a one-off, immediately perfect dress. Great idea, right? So how did it work? You go on, you enter the shop, then you have to undress and essentially you stay almost naked. Then you enter into this chamber and a lot of very high resolution cameras detect all your measures, all and very, very precise. Why it did fail? First, typically we are not talking about athletes. And those guys didn't want, those persons didn't want to be measured in such a kind of precision, right? Second, the tailor guarantees you a human relationship, a human touch. Stuff like greeting you, offering personal opinions, and telling you how cool you are, how beautiful you are, how much did you improve from the last time. So Mr. Whatsoever, today you look so amazing. What did you do? Oh, well, you know, I had some sports last week, yeah, golf club. Okay, failed. Second example, the tailor working table. Tailors tend to have, let's say, a lot of different problems, let's say, but here they wanted to address just a couple of those. Planning. Because you, in principle, should always focus on the most urgent work. So I don't know, we have a state dinner and a wedding, but if the state dinner it's gonna take place later than the wedding, you should first complete the dress for the wedding and then tackle the other one. But those tailors tend to be, you know, artists, mastercrafts. So they follow their inspiration. So if today I want to work more on the state dinner, this is what I'm gonna do. Because today I like, I don't know, black instead of gray. So they wanted to give a centralized way to dispatch the work across the tailors. And second, they want to help with the drawings, you know, because everything is still done using chalks. Okay. So you have two figures, let's say the consultant and the chief tailor, and the consultant of course just represents a team composed by technologists from very prestigious universities and business schools. Okay, let's start. We want to project all the drawings over the texture using a beam positioned above the table, and then the chief tailor said, great idea, but you know what? My tailors tend to work over the table, so there's no way for the beamer to possibly project the drawings. Please come back. Okay. Second idea. Wow, now we are gonna we're gonna put a display beneath the texture. And the chief tailor said, great, but can we iron over there? No, please come back. Okay. Master Chief, now we got it, we got it, it's perfect. By the way, you can see the belts in the background. Okay, so we put a very thick layer of glass to protect the display. And he said, great, but the problem is that when you iron, you don't have grip. So, well, in the end, to cut it short, they created this working table that looked like wood without really being it. But it also costed more than 100,000 Ks. So you know what? They just decide to scrap the project after months, and they just go back to the very good old wood table. Last but not least, when it comes to those sequences of examples, is the quality control. Now, the quality control essentially has two main targets. First, decide what is going to be discarded, because when it comes to very high luxury brands, they cannot have outlets or discounted dresses. They just burn everything to always maintain scarcity and quality. The second thing is, if the imperfection can be fixed, they put a lot of signs to just drive, to just tell the tailor how to fix it. Okay. Of course, image recognition could be the answer, right? So they installed this camera, they trained the model, and so on. Then they discovered that in the end it was slightly better when it came to image recognition. Slightly, not so much, but okay. Problem: how are we gonna put the indications, the markings over the texture? Think, and then they come up with the idea of projecting a very special ink that is capable of reacting on ultraviolet light. Great idea. You know what? They discovered that it was very typical for those customers to dress, to use those jackets, for example, 5,000 euros jackets and more, in discos. And the discos, of course, have a lot of ultraviolet lights, and you really don't want to have a lot of signs showing up on your jacket, right? Discarded. So, and now I want to close with this lila story. At the very beginning of the project, you had this professor, you know, talking with the chief tailor, because it was the counterpart. And, you know, this professor started to mention cloud computing, the different possibilities, Industry 4.0, and, you know, when it comes to cloud computing, blah, 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 but we have AWS and Amazon. I think that probably you know Amazon and the guy behind it, Jeff Bezos, right? And the chief tailor said, yes, I know him personally. I have been to his premises several times. And you? So, my last comment is, especially if you are a consultant, first start from the needs. Start from the business case. Really try to understand what you want to achieve independently from the technology. So first, you gotta have a problem that you want to solve, and then technology is a tool. Second, always put yourself into your customer's shoes. You really have to understand that you're not Aladdin, you don't have you know, the genius, and you're not gonna change the world forever, and you're not better than your counterpart. Always try to be very humble and think before you talk. Thanks for watching so far, and I wish you all the best, and thanks for your constant support. Take care, cheers, bye.